Valley.
Yeah. Look. Yeah, they got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Let's see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, work like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying locking keys. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I could never take the credit. I prefer all cash. Look, laughing at the crib cause I done turned into a bank. Probably turned into a mogul before I turned into a saint. Was just a man on his grind and I turned it into great. Turn my struggle into hustle and you know I'm
getting paid. What's going on, y'all? This is Dr. Tayler Jacobs, Banker Cousins. Welcome back to the Private Bankers Society podcast. The reason why we call it a podcast is because we always give you an applicable game that you can actually go and do it. Now, this is a live podcast show, which means that when we record it, it is live and we're teaching live. And our goal is to make sure that you get all the information that you need in order to take your life to the next level. If you want more detailed skill sets and all of that to actually take yourself to the next level, you can go to privatebankersociety.com and you can actually try our community, our membership-only community for free to see if you banking what we thinking and we can help you get to the next level. So listen, we're in the middle of From Scratch. We're in the middle of our series From Scratch. And I think it's important that we understand why having the mindset to start from scratch and process things from scratch and having the right expectations are important as you are climbing on your journey to becoming successful as an entrepreneur. Because when you don't have the right expectations, you begin to expect things that are not necessarily the standard of how to achieve or how to become successful. And when you don't have the right expectation of what it actually takes to build a successful business, then those wrong expectations will cause you not to give full effort, to always be emotional, to always be in your feelings, when you don't realize that it's all a part of your process. So I think it's important that we understand that it's all a part of your process as we continue to strive. So listen, today we're talking about how to maintain your composure when starting a business. So we kind of talked about previously when we first got started, we talked about, making sure your mind was in the right place. And then we talked about, the other things in the series. But today I want to talk about, we talked about how to guarantee your business be successful. We talked about how to fund your business with your business. And we talked about how to build a wildly successful business. And so we're still kind of processing this from scratch, because when we get to the detail of things, I think you're going to admire or enjoy at least some of what it takes to be successful and to stay committed to your goal and to your mission, right? So if you bank what I'm thinking, put some B's in the chat. If you are banking what I'm thinking, put some B's in the chat. That'll let me know that we are ready to roll. So let's just get right into it, because I think that it's important. I think it's important that we first process our expectations of not getting too overly excited about when things go great and not getting too overly excited when things go bad. And I learned this actually from sports. My coach taught me when I played basketball. He said, don't get too excited when you score and don't get too down when you're not scoring, because the purpose and the way that you actually can maintain success on a longer period of time is not being so consumed with the results and more focused on the efficiency of your process. Am I doing the work? Am I not doing the work? And whether I make it or I miss it, as long as I'm being consistent, then I know for a fact that at some point this thing too has to turn around. But when I'm not being consistent, or if I'm not understanding and focusing on the process, I can sometimes get too excited about luck that happens in business and also happen in sports. For an example, somebody can, not practice that much and play a sorry team and that basketball player could score, let's say, 20 points. And then the person who works out every day, they bust their butt every day. That game, it was just a cold game for them. They scored 8 points, a couple of rebounds, 8 assists. But the person who scored 20 points just because they played a not so good team and they just had open shots, and you can get in what we call rhythm in basketball, that person who scored 20 can sometimes have the thought process that there's somebody that's just that good to average 20. And then the person who actually has the capability to average 20 points a game, if they get too down that they had a bad game, they can enter into a slump, which can cause a little bit of confusion with what it takes. And so, number one, I want us to understand something, and I want us to get this in our thick heads, right? Understand that this too shall pass. Good or bad. Bad, indifferent, going through trials in your business, losing money, losing customers, losing clients, losing partnerships, maybe dealing with a lawsuit. This too shall pass. And what we begin to find out about life, just let's look at our life as it is. Nothing is as bad as it seems when time passes. Nothing is as bad as it feels when time passes. So when it comes to our expectation of whether it is good or bad, we have to think in our mind, this too shall pass. Your business could be going through an amazing run. You could be making the most money that you've ever made before. Everything can be clicking on all cylinders. But if you have the expectation that it will always be this way, it will always be good, or it will always be bad, you will never stay locked in enough and prepare yourself for when there is a drop off in your business. And let me tell you all something. It doesn't matter what business that you're in. It doesn't matter how successful you started or how successful you are now. You will go through a drought period. And if you're too excited about when things are going great, and then when things go bad, you get in the Debbie Downers, or you get down and out, you get out, you get upset, you're frustrated, and you can't get out your rut. Let me tell you something. It is harder to get out of a rut than it is celebrating. It's hard. So if I'm celebrating things that should be expectations of my hard work, this can cause for me to get lackadaisical in my development to continue to work on the things that I'm not good at. I remember Banker Cousins when Kobe Bryant had an infamous interview, and in the infamous interview he said, "Are we done yet?" He said, "We're not done." Kobe said, "We're not done. Hold on, let me show y'all." Everybody was excited. The Lakers were back in the championship. Kobe was in game 2. And Banker Cousins, this is what happened.
I don't think we dodged the bullet. I think they played extremely well. We played well enough to win. They played. They bounced back like we knew they would. Played extremely well, and we got out of there with a win. We just did our job. Defended home court. Last 2 series we didn't do that. Put ourselves in jeopardy, having to go on the road and win a game 3. And here we managed to do it. Now it's time to go to Orlando and see if we can't get one.
Still waiting for a big smile out of you. You're up 2-0. What's the story? Are you not happy, or you're only half happy, or?
Still to be happy about.
You're up 2-0.
Job's not finished. Job finished? I don't think so.
Okay.
And see, this mindset is what makes the greats great. What am I celebrating for? The job is not finished. He said, I'm still waiting for a big smile. You're up 2-0. Things are going good. The last 2 years, you've been in a slump, and you finally were able to get over it, Banker Cousins. And what did Kobe say? Is the job finished? Are we done? Did we complete the task? Did we win the championship yet? Am I named victorious yet? So in the moment of the game, excitement and all of that. But after the game, after you're done with the process, you got to get back to the drawing board. I'm not done. And one of the biggest problems that I had, in this business was celebrating too soon and staying sad and frustrated with my failures too long. Celebrating too soon and being down and out with my frustrations too long, with my losses too long. And when you talk about the swing of emotions that come from being on an all-time high and then things are going your way, going on an all-time down, this is what creates anxiety and stress and frustration on your journey, your banker's journey to becoming whatever your end goal is for you to become. So yes, one of my goals was to retire my mother. But the celebration is, can I keep her retired? Okay. So because I don't know if I can keep her retired because I haven't dealt with difficult times, which I have, but I'm giving an example. You haven't dealt with difficult times. Yeah, you celebrated retirement. But when your business hit a rough point, can you still keep her retired? So what we celebrating yet? Yeah, you financed your dream home, but is it paid off? Can you handle the taxes and the maintenance and anything that comes up? Okay, we don't know yet. You don't have it yet. What you celebrating for? Yeah, you hired great people with your company, but do you have enough in your reserve and in your fund that if things hit, you can still keep them for a long period of time to turn the company around? If the answer is no, then what are we celebrating for? Yeah, I joined the private bankers membership. I got a membership inside the Private Banker Society, and I got all this information I'm learning. But what are we celebrating for? Are we putting it to work yet? Are we executing yet? Are we fully living the banker's life yet? Is the job finished? No. So when you have the mentality of this too shall pass, good or bad, you don't get cut off or overwhelmed with life. Now, appreciating yourself, taking yourself out to dinner for a quick celebration, fine. But long periods of celebration, if you have a reward system in place, when I hit this accomplishment, I'm going to reward myself with this. But just because you reward yourself with something doesn't mean that it takes a year celebration. Do you know one of the number one reasons why it's hard for teams to repeat and win? It's hard because when teams win a championship, if the whole team isn't committed to getting back in the gym, and some people are celebrating, some people are serious, some people are complacent, they feel like, man, I don't need nothing else. It messes up the chemistry of a winning team. It messes up the chemistry. And when the chemistry of any team is messed up because some people think that we made it, some people are sad and mad because you hit a tough spot, you ain't won a championship, y'all in a losing streak right now, y'all trying to figure out. And what I struggle with in leadership was the productivity of my team when things were high. But when things are low, the productivity is not the same. Oh, that means that they had prematurity in celebration. You thought we made it? You thought it was done? You made your money, you start spending it on all this crazy stuff, food and vacations and no assets. So when things hit the fan, you have nothing to cling to because you spent it all celebrating. Or you spent it all being down and out about yourself, thinking that there is no way out of your situation. So it's woe is me, and you don't do what it takes to get back into the trenches. This too shall pass. The next one in maintaining our composure when starting a business. So not only do you have to have a this too shall pass mentality when building your legacy, I'm not up or I'm not down. I'm appreciative, God. I'm thankful, God. I'm grateful, God. But the job is not finished. The next thing is you got to manage your expectations. So not only is it a this too shall pass, you have to also manage your expectations. Now, Jake, what do you mean by managing your expectations? You got to understand when you're building something from scratch, limited resources, limited access, limited capital, you're using your sure will to create things into existence. This is my very best example that I love to use. We all said that we're made in the image of the Most High God. Most of us even have the understanding that you also have the ability to create things that don't exist. Okay? What you got to understand is that when you're creating something that doesn't exist in your world, it exerts everything of you. We've already been through in the pillars, we talked about the formula, the success formula. But when you're talking about building things from scratch, the reason why so many of us get so excited to start, and we're running this race and we're looking at each other side by side like, man, we're going to make it to the banker's house. Oh, yeah, we're going to figure this thing out. We're going to become rich. We're going to get wealthy. We're going to turn into millionaires. Things are going to be great. And then, okay, I didn't think that. We're still running. Okay, we're not there yet. Oh, okay, wait. And then before you know it, you stop because you didn't manage your expectations. See, I remember when I played basketball. I love my basketball analogies because these are real. And I remember when I ran a mile for the first time. Coach said, listen, don't start off sprinting. It's a mile, 4 laps. Pace yourself. I would much rather you start off at a comfortable pace than too fast of a pace, because not only will you burn out, your finish time is going to be drastically different than if you just start off and you build your way up. Oh, not Dr. Jake. See, Dr. Jake, when I was young and youthful, I didn't listen to wise counsel, people who have ran miles before. Take your time, young fella. I'm thinking, shoot, 4 laps. It's simple. 4 laps around. How fast? How fast you want me to run this thing? So I take off. I hit the first curve. Whoop. Oh, I'm in the front, boy. I'm smashing them. And I'm wondering why the seniors are, taking their time. I'm over here like, boy, I'm a freshman. Boy, I'm already finna show them what it's about. I'm already showing them what it's about. I'm on the back 100. I'm finna hit this last curve. Boo. And I'm going. And I'm crossing it. Wow. First lap done. Although 4 laps look simple, my lungs, and before you know it, experienced runners and experienced players begin to pass me on the track. laughing at me, saying, "Hey, freshman, you thought it was easy, huh, young fella?" And then this is what I realized. See, the experienced runners speed up closer to the finish line. The inexperienced runners speed up quickly in the beginning. See, burnout is bound to happen. The question is, when you burn out is what matters. Do you burn out after the race is done, or do you burn out before the race is done? But either way, the same amount of energy is exuded. The only difference is when you burn out too soon, it is harder for you to cross the finish line. Then you pacing yourself, and then when you build up your endurance, then you can burn out and cross it.
Y'all need to pay attention.
So that's when I learned a powerful lesson. If you have not been there before, listen to the people who continue to cross the line. This is why scripture says patience needs to be endured. Yeah. So when I'm managing my expectations, the first thing I must understand that in the beginning, I'm going to be putting in a lot of time. It's called sweat equity. See, when you're limited on capital, your own physical ability is the capital. But see, when you're listening to your mentors and you're looking at your mentor's life now, that's like you looking at that 4 laps that I saw my senior teammates running. Oh, they got a team, they got staff, boy, they don't work. They just do meetings, they do reports. And you forget the decade that mentor that you look up to, how they spent 15 to 18 hours a day for a decade, 6 days a week.
Y'all need to pay attention.
And even if you have the capital, you don't have the experience. And I see so many entrepreneurs think that if you have the capital, that means that you can overshoot experience. And let me tell you something about experience. A fool will always depart from their money, and a wise man will always leave wealthy. So whether you have money or not, putting in the sweat equity with your time is an expectation. The farther you are from understanding basic concepts of entrepreneurship, the longer it is for you to be able to close the gap. The reason that you can see your mentors start a business, blow up a business, take the business to the level quick is simply because they already have the main majority skill sets that you are just now trying to learn. So it looks like we're playing the same game, but the level that we play is different, baby. I remember being the top guard in my conference and on my basketball team, and top guard, said in the nation, in the country. I remember at one open gym, an NBA player came, and this is an NBA player that doesn't get in the game. So this is like the 16th man on the bench. This is an NBA player that does not get in the game. So he came on the court, and I'm looking at him like, boy, you're a bum, boy. I seen you play in the NBA, boy. I'm finna bust yo. Y'all pretty much can figure out what I was saying. But I soon found out that although I may see him on the bench, there are still levels to the game. Yeah, I'm actively doing, we playing the same game. Yeah, I'm doing this, but he is the 16th man in the NBA. A 5-year veteran that if I gave the eye test, I would have assumed I was better than him. But because there's levels to playing the same game, I thought that because it looked like I could do more, and seeing him play at the highest level and not get that much clock, I began to assume that I was better than him. Boy, did I figure out something else. So what you got to understand is that there are levels to success. In the beginning, manage your expectation. Your time and money will not match in the beginning. But so many of us think business like a job. I can sign up for a job today, get hired tomorrow, get my first check in 2 weeks, and I haven't really done anything yet. In business, you work, get paid. Then you work, get paid, work. Then you work, get paid, work, lose, work, get paid, loss, work. Then you work, get paid, work, get paid, work, get paid, work. And as you can tell, what I'm showing you is there's a lot of work that happens in the beginning. But if your expectation is, oh, this is simple, I can go through the trainings, I can learn the skill set, I can just start working, and all of a sudden, in a couple of months or a couple of weeks, I should be able to quit my job, or I should be able to get the first contract, or I should be able to sell my product and be able to see some positive success. When I first started I got my license in 2015. It was part-time at first. My first 6 months in business, part-time, licensed, I made like $5,000 or $6,000. If that. So my first 6 months as a part-time entrepreneur, with 2014, I made $6,000. And the $6,000 came in the last 2 months of the 6 months. And it was luck. The next month, I got my first 2 chargebacks. And I was like, man, quit this. I'm going to quit this industry. I promise. If it was not for me making 6 figures on my job and with my nonprofit, and I depended on that income because I wanted to just jump out there and be an entrepreneur. Imagine working 6 to 8 months and only making $6,000. I just wonder what happens if I would have quit completely. And I did leave the industry for a brief second, but I came back when I remembered the lesson that I learned in basketball. When you have a false understanding of the expectation of the energy it takes to learn a new skill, master a new skill, sell a new skill, and make money with the new skill, if you have a misunderstanding of the expectation, you're going to be let down on the result because of the misunderstanding. But when I fix my understanding and my expectation, my attitude and also my results changed. What you have to understand is that there is no skipping paying your dues. Because your sweat equity, what you're putting in and you getting better and you practicing what we teach, over time, the momentum has to kick in. And from the momentum, then you can start to see extremely progressive growth. If you bank it what I'm thinking, let me see some B's in the chat. The next point of how to maintain your composure when starting a business. We've already talked about you got to understand that this too may pass. We've already talked about you got to manage your expectations. Number 3, you must understand that it is an anomaly that your first business will be your last business. The standard of business is to understand your first business will more than likely not be your legacy business. You must lose attachment. You must lose attachment. Banker cousins, on your journey, you start making money. You start thinking this is it. And when you get attached to something that was only supposed to be for a season, imagine staying in winter 4 seasons, staying in summer 4 seasons, staying in spring all 4 seasons. It would be a catastrophe. Your first business is your revenue builder, your skill set developer. So when I see people with their first business splurge all of their money they're making, I'm like, yo, are you crazy? Thanks, Marlon. An anomaly's definition is something that deviates from what is the standard or the norm or the expected. So we talk about an anomaly. An anomaly is not the standard. And so what happens is when you make the exception the standard, it causes false representation of the truth. You may know somebody whose first business took off. That's not the standard. That's the exception. The standard is your first business will not be your legacy business, or the first version of your business will not be your legacy business. Now, I've told y'all I've been in financial literacy for a decade, teaching it, but I wasn't getting paid from teaching it for the full decade. I've had many businesses. I've sold candy. I've cut hair. I sold cable and satellite. I've sold nutrition products. I've sold hair products. I've sold travel. I've sold travel. I've sold different types of insurance. But with every transformation or season that passed, I developed new skill sets that I need right now. Are y'all banking what I'm thinking? But when you look at my life, you will think, dang, Jake has always had it figured out. No, my company has been through many different evolutions. My company's name has changed as the evolutions have changed. Some of you have been around even long enough to witness at least one of the changes. Customers and people and clients may look and be like, dang, Jake, what's going on, man? I like that name. That name was for a different season. That wasn't going to be a name that is built off my legacy. But when you get too attached to a business or name, or you lose the value of growth. Every business endeavor, every joint venture, every product that was created didn't always have a lasting period. Some lasted shorter periods, some lasted longer periods, but I developed new skill sets along the way, and I've never been attached. I've never been attached to a brand, a vehicle, or an opportunity. For the right amount of money or for the right amount of stress, I will sell it or leave it alone. You know how many billionaires change their name? They adapt their business model. They completely change their products. You know how many companies that have been around for over 100 years to date that are not selling the same product that they started with? So let's look at a couple of them. We're going to look at 10 successful companies that reinvented their business. 10 successful companies that reinvented their business. Amazon started off as an online retailer for physical books. In 1995, it promoted itself as the Earth's biggest bookstore. It wanted to compete with Barnes & Noble and Walden Books. This approach was moderately successful, with Amazon carrying more than 2.5 million different book titles. And when they went public, there was little indication it would eventually dominate e-commerce and cloud computing as it does today. So what used to be their primary is not even a second, third, fourth, fifth. It's just one of them things they do. Now they offer cloud computing services that lead the industry today. American Express. We know American Express as a financial service giant. But in 1850, it was emphasis on express mail. It transported valuable goods, stock certificates, and currency through its home state of New York and later other states. Later, they added money order and traveler checks to its portfolio. And then in the 1900s, American Express reinvented itself and now is what it's best known for today. Credit cards, extended credit for businesses. What do I teach y'all? Turn your business into a bank. Ain't that what I teach you? Ain't that what Dr. Jake teaches you? Turn your business into a bank. Let's continue. Chipotle Mexican Grill. Chipotle used to be known as a walk-in counter service. They didn't even used to have where you can literally go to a drive-through. You had to walk in. However, because of 2020 and COVID, they significantly invested in high-margin drive-through pickup lanes. That's called Chipotle lanes. These drive-through lanes exist primarily for public pickup orders, which means more customers can be served in a shorter amount of time. It launched its 100th Chipotle lane in July 2020 and intends to hire 10,000 new workers to support its new initiative. Corning was a world leader of glass and ceramic industrial manufacturing. It initially produced mass glass for Thomas Edison's light bulb that he stole, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. They continue to innovate and renovate what could do with glass, and notably created Pyrex, a durable cookware line, optic fiber that's now paved the way for internet telecommunication. IBM used to be known for computing machines and computer equipment mainframes. In 1993, they posted a staggering $1 billion quarterly loss. I told y'all about a loss. So sometimes it takes a loss to restructure. To turn the company around, the executives made a bold decision to abandon all hardware areas such as computer chips, hard drives, and printers, what they were known for, and they will focus only on software, IT consulting services, and computing research, which brought the company back to a profitable and improved its reputation. Netflix started off as rent and buy DVDs. Now they're a streaming source. As y'all can tell, we can continue this thing on and on again. But the point that y'all see Dr. Jacobs making, that had any of these companies been consumed in the version of them, or the process of them, or the attachment of them, there is no way that you would know them today. Some even go through name changes to fit the new direction, like Meta and Facebook. Which leads me to my fourth one. Actually, Marlon, you right on point. My fourth one. You either pivot or perish. All business ideas don't last like a lifetime. Think of entrepreneurship like an art. The products you create are albums or songs. Some songs make it to the top 100. Some songs, it's your favorite, but no one likes it. So you're not going to go on tour trying to make people like a song that they don't like. You don't just keep the same album and play the same album from 20 years in a music career and think that that's going to be the only thing you have to do. You have to continue to reinvent yourself. You got to continue to make music that is adaptable to the ear of the market. This is important. And then the last thing, number 5, you have to understand that entrepreneurship is a career, not a gig. And a lot of us have a gig mentality to entrepreneurship. I'll prove it. Let's go for an example. You'll join the private banker society. You say, man, I'm joining the society, man. I've been waiting. You know what? I'm taking a chance. I'm joining the society, right? By the way, this society has 454 now members, a part of our free trial version of our society. On the elite side, let's go here. You'll go to the classroom area. You'll go through all of the trainings real quick. And then you'll go look at a skill set. Then you'll take a couple of skill sets. You say, okay, now I need the business model. So now I'm going to learn these skill sets. Now I'm going to start a business model. I'm going to go to bid. I want to start a consulting firm from the skill sets. So now you go through how to start a consulting firm from scratch with the skill sets. Then you use Facebook advertisement. You start doing it, but you don't take it serious. You don't take it like a career. You're gigging it. And when the gig is up, or it doesn't work as fast, or it didn't go like you expected, now you want to try a new gig. See, I planted my feet in the ground in entrepreneurship was I'm going to figure it out, or I'm going to figure it out. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to not figure it out. And a lot of us gig our way. There's no skill set development. Here's what's funny. People say, I want to be the bank. I know that developing a high income earning skill set that I can sell as a service, as an entrepreneur, or solicit as a service, working for a company and building my worth inside of that company, which is more than possible. I know tons of people that work inside of smaller companies, using the skill sets of entrepreneurship inside of a smaller company, growing the company, and then participating in the revenue. I know a lot of people, several people close that made millions by doing that. Okay. When you think of it like a gig, you don't stay long enough to master anything. There are 3 levels of learning. Y'all know I teach this: competency, proficiency, and mastery. So if you gig your way through the private bank society, our skill sets and everything that we teach and blah, 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 or you gig your way through your business, no reason why you always quit and stop. There's a difference between pivoting, learning a skill set, moving on to develop, to continue to your destination. There's another difference from quitting and getting nothing from the situation or from the opportunity other than I didn't make my money back, or I've never got into any business opportunity, even if I took a loss, stating like, man, no, I stayed in my head, man, at least I got to make a little bit of money while I learned this skill. At least I got to at least make my money back as I learned this skill. And if I lost a little bit, shoot, at least now I got a new skill, and now I know what mistakes I made. So as I continue on my journey, I won't make that mistake again. So in order to maintain your composure, you have to understand that this too shall pass, good or bad. Manage your expectations. Understand that your first business or any business you should not have attachment to. Pivot or perish. And number 4, understand that entrepreneurship is a career. And the reason why so many people don't like to invest in skill sets and training is because you don't look at entrepreneurship as a career. You look at it as a gig. Gigs don't take a lot of skill. Entrepreneurship does. And winning as an entrepreneur absolutely does. And I'm going to leave you with this. How do you expect to be a millionaire if you don't even have mastered the average skill sets that an average millionaire has? And how do you expect to do $10 million a year if you haven't mastered the skill sets that require to even make $10 million a year. So to expect the result of the sacrifice of someone else is asinine, which means crazy. So as you go and matriculate through your journey, you're taking your private banker's way. You're going through your private banker's journey. You're developing the skill sets. We have over 176 plus hours of e-learning classroom. After you binge watch it and go through all the trainings, guess what? Work is now required. And now you're going to have to go back to those trainings and now start implementing, and go back to the training and start getting competent, and then go back to the training so you can be proficient, to go back to the training so you can become a master. And there's only one way. And only one commitment that you got to make. That I'm committed to invest as much time as I need to develop the experiences that I need to evolve into the entrepreneur that I need to be. Period. See, when you commit to something as a career, think about it, at your job or your career. Most of you thought 20, 30 years, I'm going to retire from here. Entrepreneurship is the same way. Don't let these people online lie to you. It is absolutely a career. You start off just you yourself. And then when you yourself get good at what you do, you go to management. And then you manage a couple of people. Then from managing a couple of people, then you grow your management capabilities. Now you're a manager inside your business. Then from manager, now you may be a general manager that manages the managers that are managing your staff. And then you may elevate from general manager to executive that manage, or, director that manages the general manager, that manages the managers, that manages your staff. Then you go from director to what? And as you elevate in your entrepreneurial journey, you're going to realize that how you matriculate in corporate America is also the same way that you matriculate in your own business. You don't start off as the CEO. You become the CEO. You don't start off as your own executive. You become the executive as you develop skill sets that are required for the growth of you as an entrepreneur on your journey, as on your banker's journey. Managing expectations. Just because you start a company don't mean that you have the capabilities to lead or teach or train. Whether you understand or not, when you're running a business with staff and managers, you always have to course correct and train and develop. Well, if you're not committing that to yourself, why do you think your staff ever will? Put some B's in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down. You banking what I'm thinking, banker cousins. Put some B's in the chat if you're banking what I am thinking. So for those of you that do not know, we run Power Bank Society, which is a membership-only site that has over 176 plus hours of community, everything that allows for you to actually develop your skill sets to become an amazing banker. Our goal of banking is the evolution of I'm working, I'm building, I'm running a business. Now from I'm running my business, I'm investing and lending. And then from investing and lending, now I'm living on my money, making money for me. And I no longer have to exchange my physical effort to sustain my livelihood. We all are on our banker's journey. So if you want to just get a taste of what the private bankers community and society is like, go to privatebankersociety.com. Go to privatebankersociety.com. privatebankersociety.com. Join our community for free. Test it out, taste it out, take the free classroom, follow the journey of the classroom. And then if you're ready to become on the elite side to learn the skill sets that we teach, business models that we offer, you're more than welcome to go on and take the invite to join the elite. Okay? I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And now I got to close the vault to the podcast. Banker Cousins, don't forget, have a banktastic day. But most importantly, what I want you to understand is this, Banker Cousins, you got to do the work Christ said to pick up your own cross and die daily. So yes, I'm leading you. I'm showing you the way. But my goal ain't to carry you. I ain't carrying nobody. You got to carry yourself. And with that being said, I'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.
I love you, Bobby.
Oh, I forgot to say, and y'all know our motto. Our goal is to make families great again by showing them how they can be the bank too. I'm out.
Inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying like a kiss. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I can never take the credit. I prefer all cash. Look, laughing at the crib cause I done turned into a bank. Probably turned into a mogul before I turned into a saint. Was just a man on his grind, then I turned it into great. Turn my struggle into hustle, and you know I'm getting paid. Let's go.